Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to start the reading vlog for the second half of June. If you have watched my previous reading vlogs, you know that I had some very sad things happening in my family recently, so the first half of June wasn't really a good reading time, but I definitely hope to pick things back up now in the second half of June. And I do have some books I really want to finish because I've started them, and yeah, it's just time to finish some of these books. So let me quickly tell you which books I'm currently in the middle of so you know what to expect for this vlog. First of all, I still have this one left over from my Asian readathon TBR, which is a little bit shameful, but this is a short story collection called The Tangleroot Palace by Marjorie, Leigh. I have read the first two stories, I really enjoyed them, and now I have like, I don't know, 5 stories I think left. So I definitely need to sit my ass down and read these stories because I already love Marjorie Leigh as a storyteller, and I'm pretty sure I will love the rest of these stories as well. Then I started reading The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo yesterday. I'm only a chapter in, so far not really a lot I can tell you about this. What I know about this book is that it follows a girl called Lucia, and she has some magical abilities. She can do like small little magic. So in the first chapter, for example, she saves a bread that was burning. So she sprinkles a little bit of her magic and then the bread is not burned. And she gets sucked into things she didn't really want to be part of, I think, in this book. So this is set in Spain during what they called the Golden Age. So we'll see how I get on with this book. I hope to make some good progress in it today. And then last but not least, I'm about a little bit more than a third of my way through The Madship by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Lifeship Traders series. In this series, we are following a world where there are life ships, and that is ships that when 3 captains have died on their ship, the ship comes alive. And we are following the Westwood family as their life ship becomes like alive. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters, a lot of stuff going on. I do enjoy the second book much more than the first book. The first book dragged a little bit for me in parts just because I felt like the characters didn't really know what they were doing. It was a lot of like just stumbling around, creating their own problems. And in this one, I feel like we have a clearer focus, and now our characters are set on their path and also accepting their path. So I feel like, yeah, we can look forward to bigger things, and I'm very excited to see where it goes in this book. So this is what I'm currently reading, and I will update you as soon as I have something interesting to say about these books. If you've ever been asking yourself what happens if you don't do exactly what your cat wants, this is what happens. My love, I'm not allowed to use that anymore? So today is the 17th of June, and I want to give you a quick update because I did some actual reading yesterday, quite surprisingly. I read the next story in the Tangleroot Palace. I think it's called The Light and the Fury. This one was definitely interesting. It is a tiny little bit confusing because you're definitely just thrown into the action with this one. And it follows a woman who's already a little bit older, and she has very specific powers because of these like crystal skulls that were found. And so this is an alternate history, which is interesting because like the colonial lines are very different, and this focuses on China and parts of the US, but in this alternate history they're called New China, so China has some colonies as well, and they're working together with the Native American people against the British. And so yeah, there's a lot going on in this one. We have submersibles and yeah, just magic powers. The story was published in a collection with superhero stories, so I can definitely see it standing out in that context because it is not a traditional like superhero story. I did enjoy it. I think it could have used a little bit more explanation, and I gave it around a 4-star. And then I also read the first 9 chapters in The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, so I can tell you a little bit more of what is going on in this one. I think I've already said that we're following a girl called Lucia as she is discovered to have some special little magics that are seen as miracles in this like, yeah, Spain of the Middle Ages. And we see her getting into trouble because of that, with the Inquisition going on and then everything else. It's definitely dangerous to show that you have a magic because there is a very like thin line between miracles and witchcraft. And so at the point where I stopped last night, we have our main character Lucia definitely in a spot where her life is changing completely, and we had a glimpse of some interesting people who we don't quite know who they are yet, but I'm intrigued to find out more. So yeah, overall I had a great time with the beginning of this book, and I hope I will soon find time to continue reading this. And then I also made a little bit more progress in my audiobook, The Mad Ship, and one of the characters, Malta, is just going on, like, I don't even know what she's doing. Like, she is a very erratic character at the best of times, and right now I'm just scared of what's gonna happen. And on the Discord channel of Jolien Reads, we do have a little like group chat for the Rime Up the Elderlings, so it's so nice to be able to share some thoughts and some fears there. And the feedback I'm getting is that my fears are very much appropriate for what's gonna happen. So we'll see, but yeah, it's so intriguing and I'm really enjoying that book as well. These 2 books will go back to the library today, unfortunately unread. And these are the new library books I have picked up, potentially to read for the next game night-a-thon in July. So today is the 21st of June. I have officially made it more than halfway through in my audiobook, The Mad Ship by Hobb. I'm still really enjoying it. It is quite a long audiobook, so I'm prepared to listen to this for a little bit longer. And today is also the start of a round of Tome Topple, and I'll probably only participate with my audiobooks because I don't really want to read any other very long books. If you don't know, Tome Topple is about reading books that are over 500 pages, and I don't really have any of those on my physical TBR for this end of spring. It is the beginning of summer now, so yeah, we'll see. So far, not much reading has happened again, but yeah, the audiobook is really good. Not the narrator though. The narrator, I think, has gotten a little bit better, but it's still not good at all. So today is the 22nd of June, and I do have a little bit of fun planned today with Vanessa. I will link her channel down below. We want to go see a castle and then also see some other stuff that will be going on in the city. I can tell you who's not excited about it and is planning some mischief right now, but we'll see how it goes. So today is Monday the 24th of June and I wanted to give you a quick update because I actually read something this weekend. But I also got this cute new shirt which I really adore, so I wanted to show that off too. So I did read the next two stories in the Tangleroot Palace, so let me quickly catch you up on that. So I've read the one that is called The Last Dignity of Men, which I think was the Lex Luthor story, if I remember correctly. So this one is about a scientist who does like genetic stuff in his company, and he works for the US government, and then things go wrong. And this is a queer story because our main character seems to be gay, I would assume, and it was definitely an interesting story, a little bit gross as well, but I did like it. And yesterday I read Where the Heart Lives, and this one is a dark fairy tale, which I absolutely adored again, because you can always get me with like dark fairy tale short stories. This one we are following a young girl who is sent away from her family to join this like really weird household in the middle of very creepy woods, and she learns about a creature in the woods who stole the bride of the man she's now living in the household of. And yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed that one a whole lot. Now, talking about dark, I also continued reading The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I'm now almost halfway through the book. I'm still really enjoying it. We're at the start of the trials right now, so we do have some trials in this book. I'm not quite sure how much of the rest of the book will be about that, because it could be something that happens in like 3 chapters. It could be something that is like the whole rest of the book. I'm intrigued to see how it goes, but yeah, I am having a good time with this book. Not a very strong 5-star feel, but probably like a 4-star. And then last but not least, I'm currently 2/3 of the way through my audiobook The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. Still really enjoying it, having a good old time with it. And I hope to finish all 3 of these books in the remaining week, so I have some books to show for June. We'll see about that. I'll keep you updated, wish me luck. But yeah, the plan is to at least read one more story of the Tangleroot Palace tonight. Tomorrow is my long day, so I'm not quite sure how much reading will happen, but then maybe finish Tangleroot Palace on Wednesday and work on the rest, you know, throughout the week and the weekend. We'll see. Let's stay optimistic, because I want to participate in Game Night-a-thon in July. I will link the announcement video down below if you feel like joining in a bit late. And yeah, that one, I'm already stressing out a little bit, to be honest, because it is kind of like a very competitive game-inspired readathon. So I want to start fresh. So I want to leave all of these books behind in June.
Dearest gentle reader,
so you are unperturbed by what Lady Whistledown has written? That she thinks I am afraid of choosing a diamond?
I know no one but me cares about this, but we're having a bit of a heat wave right now. It's not gonna last very long, but I decided to try to fit into some dresses again that I haven't worn since before the pandemic, and they fit, and I'm like so relieved because I hate shopping for clothes. So I couldn't be happier. I love this dress. It's really cute. It is a little bit like old school now, but I'm old, so I can wear my old dresses. I'm happy.
Dressers, just big pieces of furniture to help break up the wall. If I'm able, I would kind of like to have some sort of places, but we'll be sitting, maybe knitting. That's another thing. I've started.
This doesn't have a prophecy, but you also have these boys who are in a way like Tabaran, which is the story and events of this world like kind of gather around them.
Business that will only cause further confusion.
I'm not the one who is confused.
So today is the 1st of July, and with that I want to bring this vlog to a close. I'm not feeling so well because I'm still fighting a migraine from the change of the weather, and I also hurt my shoulder last night. And so yeah, I'm a little bit miserable, but we're gonna deal. Let's finish off this vlog. First of all, I have finished my audiobook Mad Ship by Robin Hobb last night. I really enjoyed it. I liked it more than the first book, and I've heard quite a few people say that this is their favorite book in the series, so it will probably be for me as well. I decided to give it 4.5 stars in the end, just because I did like it more than the first book, but in my feelings it's more like a weaker 4.5 star, like 4.25, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think that this is definitely an interesting series. I like that we got a lot of answers in this second book, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes for the characters. We'll take a little bit of a break from the series before I read the last book, because right now a lot of these characters are in quite a good place, and I'm like just hoping for them to have a little rest there before we continue on with the rest of the series. Then I also finished reading the last two stories in the Tangleroot Palace on Saturday. So we do have After the Blood, which was a very interesting story. It had kind of like a Western or settlers feel to it, but it is kind of a dystopian. So basically there was an event that killed off most of the people in the US, and now these little communities led by the Amish are still kind of existing, not really thriving, I would say, and there's like weird monsters in the woods and people are just changing, and because of these like religious people, that is very dangerous. So I did like this one. I didn't love it because it was just a little bit too vague in some aspects for me personally. And then the last story, Tangleroot Palace. This is again very fairy tale-esque. We have a young princess who's supposed to be married off to this like very horrible warlord, and so she runs away and tries to find help in the Tangleroot forest basically. And yeah, this is a story about monsters not always being what you think they are, and yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. I think it had a lot of elements that really worked for me. So this is also the longest story. At the back of the book they even called it a novella. I don't know where the like page length lines lie with that, but I really liked it. And overall I gave this collection around a 4, also like a 4.25 star as well. And then last but not least, I finished reading The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo last night as well. I read the whole second half of the book yesterday, and that was definitely great because I could really sink into the story. Also, the second half was like so intriguing and interesting that even though I had a migraine, I could focus on it, which doesn't always work with every book, but that made me very happy. And yeah, I gave this one 4.5 stars as well. Definitely a stronger 4.5 stars, like it's pulling towards the 5, but I think it's not quite there for me. But Leigh Bardugo is definitely one of my favorite authors. The only book of hers, or her only novel I haven't read yet, is whatever the sequel to Nine South is called. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This deals a lot with like saints and miracles and religion and being different, being excluded from society, and just the struggles of staying alive, of surviving, and curses. So this just ticked a lot of my boxes. I kind of like the romance. I think for the kind of romance we get in here, which is usually right up my alley, I wasn't like super obsessed with it. Like I've read better books that just did more for me in that regard, and the plot was like very intriguing, and definitely I was just hoping that somehow this would work out for the characters, even though they get in like very, very horrible situations. So overall this was a big success for me. I know that some people didn't love this, but it worked for me, and I'm very happy that it did, because Leigh Bardugo just does not disappoint me. So that would be all the reading for the second half of June. I hope your June was better than mine. Obviously this was not a great month for me, and yeah, I only like read books right at the end now, but I hope that July will be better. I am participating in a readathon that's going to be very, very fun. I think I've talked about it here before, so yeah, fingers crossed. Let me know how your June went, what was the best book you've read in June, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!